Hello, my absolutely beautiful Libra friends, and welcome to your horoscope for May of 2023, where this month, Libra, we've got Mercury coming out of retrograde, Jupiter moving into Taurus, expanding your assets and your intimacy zone, which is just absolutely delicious. We're going to have an eclipse that is going to light up your second house space, another asset zone in your chart as well. And before we run out of this month, we are also going to see Mars move into the energy of Leo. So Mars coming into fire, lighting up the social sector of your life. It is a social month for you, Libra. So let's jump in here and see what is going on. Now, right at the beginning of the month, Libra, on the 1st, we've got Pluto stepping into its retrograde. Now, flashback to March of this year, okay? March 23rd. Pluto moved into the energy of Aquarius. So right then, what started happening for you in this 5th house zone? Romance, play, sex, desire, children, joy, expression. Did you start a new business? Did you conceive a baby, conceive a business? Was something happening for your children? My single Libras out there, did you start to realize there was something on the horizon? You're like, I've been single so long. This is definitely a time that people or the romantic vibration could have been pulling into your space. But what was changing for you here? Because what's been here has been outdated, and it is time for it to fall, to come down, to change directions. But it's not going to be done without a little bit of your own effort. That's not the Plutonian way. So as Pluto goes into retrograde now, you're going to see it retrograde over the 0 degrees. Now it's going to go all the way back to 27 degrees of Capricorn. So you've already seen some of that energy, okay? But at this 0 degrees, I would love for you to pay attention to where do you need to learn a little bit more, do a little bit more research, do a little bit more vulnerability, let yourself be open a little bit more, because something is outdated here and it is trying to leave your world, but it's not going to do it without a little bit of your own help, right? Like you have to, in order to Phoenix, something has to die in order for something to rise, okay? On the 5th, we're going to see the full moon lunar eclipse happening at 14 degrees of Scorpio. This lights up your second house space. So a financial zone. You're being asked to end something, acknowledge something, or to make an adjustment. And this is not new. We've been looking at the Taurus and the Scorpio axes since last year. You had a whole year to be working with this energy. So around your finances, remember that this full moon is about illumination, exposure. It tells you what's going on at an emotional level. So over this next 6 months, are you connected to the work that you're doing? Or do you need to unburden yourself? Which I am not saying quit your job. Do not go out there and quit your job unless that's what you were going to do. But don't do it because Stormie said so. But unburdening yourself around your worth, your value, One of the things I think of in the Taurus, Scorpio, axes, Libra, and especially because you're a Venus-ruled sign, is looking at how you're eating and how you're caring for yourself. Because how you're eating and how you're caring for yourself is usually reflected in your value stance and also is reflected in your financial position in the world as well. So I would really love for you to, take a look at those particular areas. How are you feeding yourself? Are you giving yourself good food? Even if you can't buy the best food, the most organic, you're not growing it yourself. When you are at the store, are you looking for the options that are going to feed you and fuel you the best, whatever that looks like for you? And I really do mean that, Libra, because here's just something I want to share with you, right? When people say, oh, eat the best, eat, whatever. For me to eat a banana, it sends my insulin and my glucose into a crazy spin, and it is not good for me. And when my husband eats a banana, it is the most brilliant thing for him. For me, it is painful, it is uncomfortable, and it takes me hours to get back into some kind of shape. So really, when I say, are you eating in a way that fuels you and is the best for you? What is right for you, because when you are owning your value in that way, when you are caring for yourself, using the right lotion, getting the right amount of sleep, being that Venus vibration, this usually shows up in your finances as well. It shows up in ways where you're like, I know my value, I hold my space, I value how I treat myself. And so this helps me make different financial decisions. So I would love for you to consider that this month, Libra, and let me know how that's going for you in the comment section down below, okay? All right, when we get to the 7th, we are going to see Venus move into the energy of Cancer. Now remember, Venus is an attracting in energy. It's attracting. So you don't have to go work all hard and shuck and jive and shuffle and move. We don't need to be doing all of that, okay? You need to let Venus call to you in a Cancerian way. So this is going to be at the top of your chart in that 10th house, okay? So your career, your title in public, your soul level calling. One of the things with Venus being here and in Cancer that is a cardinal energy, call these new opportunities to you. Call these fresh starts. Call a significant communication or event into your life that allows you to, magnetize this area of your chart. This is funny because in the 10th house space, one of the thoughts I was having for you this month was potlucks. I think I'm just on food for you guys this month, but potlucks are social things, right? Where you create comfort, you create nurturing in some way. If it's not at work, is this in your home? Is this with your family? Is this with your friends? Is this with your community, where you are creating a sense of love and respect and devotion, but you're doing it in a cardinal way where you're taking the action to create something that feeds people. And sometimes what we do that feeds people and feeds their spirit and feeds ours is we tell them the stories about our ancestors. Cancer goes back through our history. We share with them the photos of our family members, right? What is it for you, Libra, that has you in this Cancerian vibe of nurturing, protecting, creating security, but also bringing in the memories and also bringing in that nurturing piece? I'd love to hear about this down below. When we get to the 14th, we'll see Mercury come out of retrograde. Now, you guys know I followed the full retrograde path. So we saw Mercury go into pre-retrograde shadow time on April 7th. We saw it retrograde on April 21st. Now it is coming direct here in the energy of Taurus at 5 degrees. But we will complete this cycle on May 31st when Mercury gets back to that 15 degrees of Taurus. So for you, in your personal chart, what was going on between 5 and 15 degrees of Taurus? Now this lights up that 8th house space. So across the street from where we had this eclipse happening, okay? So as we see this, it really is lighting up an opposition, and it's been brought to your attention, something around partnership, something around intimacy, something around assets or energies that you are connected to. And when I say that, it is, if you have a wound or you have a trauma, you are deeply connected. If something hits that wound or hits that trauma, you are deeply connected to that at a full body level. Just as much as when somebody that you love walks in the room and you see them and you're like, spicy, spicy, and you are affected at a whole level, right? So what is it that is your intimate connection? And this does apply to finances as well. Is your partner experiencing a boost, or was there like a delay in a boost to something with your partnership? Because when your partner's money changes, things change for you as well. Is this that financial aid or that loan or that collaboration that's been held up and it's been bumpy, and now that Mercury is out of retrograde, you can start to see it moving forward again and have full conclusion. I really do think that this has so much to do as well in the energy of Taurus around your relationship life. So if that's felt like a bumpy ride, this might be some of that energy moving forward, okay? When we get to the 16th, we see Jupiter move into the energy of Taurus. When we get to the 17th, we're going to see Jupiter square Pluto that is in Aquarius. Now, these are two of the biggest and most important transits that I believe that we have this year, okay? First of all, Jupiter moving into this Tauran area is going to give you an opportunity to expand here. So I would ask you to go back into your chart and back into your life between 2011, 2012, really a little bit more towards that summertime of 2011, and look at what was going on for you, because that's the last time that Jupiter was here in Taurus. So what was happening for you? Where was your mind changing? Where were you having spiritual awakenings? Where were your horizons broadening and you were expanding out? And it would have been in areas of partnership, maybe a job opportunity came your way, a collaboration, maybe then you took out some, a loan for something, or you made an investment. Did someone pass away for you? The 8th house, we do still deal with death, debt, and taxes. What was happening for you sexually, right? All of those things, look at that, because that expansive energy is signaling that this is back in your life. But instead of just coming here and having this reawakening, I think that this awakening is particularly potent for you, because as Jupiter squares against Pluto here on the 17th, what we see is, you guys, this is it. We walk through the doorway into the new world, and there is no going back. So your relationships, your values, your resources that you use to get and move through this world, you're being called to expand them and to bring them forth, because the way that you used to do things, outdated belief systems, outdated ideas, things that needed to be brought to a close before that maybe weren't. Maybe you have a pain point or a growth point or an empowerment point that is expanding at this time. But whatever it is, there is an outdated system that doesn't work anymore, and it cannot come forward into this new world. And I think that the 17th is our signal to really understand that Jupiter and Taurus here is expanding you forward to the new world with new resources, new ideas, and new structures under you, especially around 8th house concepts, okay? When we get to the 19th, we've got a new moon now in Taurus to even further help you come forward. So plant your seeds of intention at 28 degrees of Taurus. What would you like to see unfold in this 8th house? Would you like to create passive streams of income for yourself? Would you like to create stronger, deeper, more delicious intimacy where you're so connected you can be not in the same room with your partner, and you can know just by the sound of their breathing what's going on? Like, what's the depth that you would like to go to? You want to expand your astrology practice. Whatever it is in this 8th house arena, you really have the opportunity to plant the seeds for something long-term and really delicious in your life. When we get to the 20th, we are going to see Mars move now into that energy of Leo. Mars moving into fire, lighting up your social zone, that 11th house space, friends, social groupings, technology, organizations and ambitions that maybe you even have for yourself. I do think in the 11th house too, because this is Leo energy, and Leo's quite bold. It's almost like maybe in a group of people, you are taking center stage in some way for a reason. What are you doing in this social way where you're letting yourself boldly take action to express who you are, to express something that you're working on? It's a pretty big, bold kind of move. So I really am interested to see what you do with that, especially because fire and air, which you are that air energy, you guys work in simpatico. These are compatible elements to work together. So what ride are you going on? Are you expanding out? Are you telling your friends about a relationship that you've been in? Are you telling your friends about a relationship you got out of? Like, what's the relationship factor that also plays into this, okay? Now, as we're going to close out the month on the 21st, the sun will move into the energy of Gemini, bringing light, heat, life, and vitality, lighting up this 9th house space for you. Publishing, marketing, broadcasting, travel, the advancement of ideas, philosophies, really faith. What you've had faith in, where your current level of faith is at. Could be themes that are showing up in this 9th house energy, but I definitely think for some of you there's also some travel in whatever way on the agenda. So whether you're traveling via podcast, you're traveling by getting your name out there, or you're just hopping a little ocean and you're going to another country, whatever it is for you, as we close out this month and move more into the June time frame, we'll be able to see where the travel bug is maybe hitting all of our beautiful Libra friends. All right, my loves, have a gorgeous month. I look forward to seeing how it goes, so put it in the comment section down below, and I will see you in June. Bye, Libra.